Hey everyone, my name is Aylin Sky. I am here to give you the astrology report for October 2023, what I believe are going to be the most important transits to pay attention to and why they're going to be impactful. The second half of this reading is going to be all about a tarot reading for all of the 12 signs. Of course, you can listen to your sun, moon, and rising for this particular reading in order to put together a bigger picture. I do want to mention real quick that my coaching sessions are available. I do one-on-one readings and I also do prolonged reading sessions that you can purchase, all available at aylinskyastro.com. You can also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram at aylinskyastro, where I also put out other content that is interesting in regards to numerology and other spiritual topics. I would love to connect with you on those platforms. So make sure you check that out, TikTok or Instagram, aylinskyastro. All right, diving right in, Mars is going to square Pluto on October 8th. Now, Mars is in Libra, Pluto is going to be in Capricorn, and it's the day before Pluto actually moves direct. This is going to be a very big moment because Mars is squaring Pluto. Mars not in a favorable position, being in Libra. This is sort of a moment where I believe that we could see a lot of power dynamics just playing out, power struggles amongst people playing out. But because Mars is in Libra, not in its favored position, this sort of has the tendency here to bring out some kind of negotiation in a power struggle. It kind of makes me feel like Mars squaring Pluto and having this kind of intense conversation, it's almost like asking for forgiveness in a moment when you're being caught, or in a moment when things just feel incredibly intense because something comes out into the open and you're like, wow, I really need to negotiate. In a very extreme case, it could be like, I'm negotiating for my life. Hopefully it is not that, but I'm just saying Mars-Pluto squares can be really intense. It can also bring power dynamics often up because it's Mars. It could be a sex dynamic that comes up. And in general, this can be, I believe, a transit where something is being pushed too hard. Something goes kind of overboard. There's too much force behind it. So on the 10th, Venus is going to make an opposition to Saturn. This is going to be important. Why? Because I think that there is sort of a highlight on specific subjects in our life where we have to pay attention to how our actions or our inactions impact other people. And as a result of it, we are having an experience, or we could be having an experience here where we have to mature. It's Saturn, right? It's about taking responsibility. It's about maturing. It's about growing up in a sense. But Saturn can also cut something out. So Venus could be in this opposition with Saturn, highlighting that something is dying off, something needs to be cut out, and it's no longer making any sense. There could be difficulty in relationships and relationship dynamics that are being highlighted, in particular, a pattern that is being highlighted here. Overall, I believe that because that Mars square to Pluto running into the Venus opposition with Saturn, there's some kind of cold, harsh facts that we are confronting. We're being sort of confronted with it, or it's being brought into our face in a confrontational kind of way. And there is sort of this moment where we're going to have to accept, like, wow, this is happening in this relationship dynamic or with this circumstance that could tie to other people and could tie to an inability here to move forward in the way that it's been. So we're kind of being confronted with it. And I think that the first couple of days sort of in October, or the first week in October, it's kind of intense. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of intense. We're coming into it sort of in a way where it's got this sobering effect. October 13th, Mars is now then, after going through all of that intensity, the confrontations, it is going to be in a trine with Saturn. Now, this is going to be, I believe, a time where we are going to come up with a force and a vitality and an energy that we didn't think that we had. After everything we've experienced, all the intensities we've gone through, the confrontations, the challenges that may have come up, sort of an intensity that's kind of erupting in the beginning of the month, And let's not forget, we are in eclipse season. We're in that eclipse sandwich, that I like to call. On the 13th, right before the solar eclipse, which is going to be a new initiation into the Aries Libra axis, there is this moment where we are determined. There is an unstoppable energy that is sort of coming up. And I believe that we are going to have high levels of focus. We're starting to realize, oh my gosh, I have to get my ducks in a row. I can't continue moving on and just kind of, slacking or not, doing the work that I promised myself that I would do. So we're starting to begin to see that we need to show up in a different way. October 14th, we have a solar eclipse in Libra. That is going to be at 21 degrees. And as you know, I discuss numerology a lot on my channel and the degrees. 21 degrees is absolutely a degree that has to do with our beliefs, because the 2 deals with the lunar aspects, our emotions, our emotional world, our capacity for emotional security, and also our willingness to kind of work with another person. This can involve relationships. And of course, it's Libra season. The solar eclipse is in Libra, so it's definitely going to involve relationships. And then we've got the 1 in there, and that is who we are within the roles that we have. And then ultimately what we believe about our future, what we believe that we can make true. And it has a lot to do with our dreams and moving forward and some kind of a higher aim that we're having. So this solar eclipse is going to be initiating a new way in which we're going to relate to other people in order to make a future aim a reality. So we could say that this is the beginning of a turning point, and we are now in a different chapter, a different era. And you want to check out where that solar eclipse is happening for you, because a lot of the changes are going to be happening in that house for you. Moving on to October 20th, we're going to have a Mercury Cazimi. This is going to be a powerful one because also on the same day, Mercury is going to be squaring Pluto. I believe this is sort of a culmination point of the month, because everything that has been on our mind, we are addressing it now. If it's, for example, in your career, or if it's, for example, in your family dynamics, wherever this Cazimi is happening and aspecting, one of the things that you might find is that there is going to be this moment where everything we've been thinking about, we're now willing to communicate it. We're now willing to kind of bring it up because we've been wanting to address it. So there is this, Mercury square Pluto type of moment where we're deeply connecting to the things that we haven't spoken out loud. We need to address them. We need to have like a reality check, so to speak. And that is what I believe is going to be happening on this day. The other thing that's really interesting is that we're taking some kind of knowledge that we're gaining, because that Mercury-Pluto dynamic is going to bring up some kind of new information, knowledge that we're gaining, and we're turning that into wisdom. It's like an aha moment. Wow, I am learning so much about myself, about the truth, about illusions. This will have also an effect on illusions, which I will talk a little bit more as we progress towards the end of the month. This is a moment where we're freeing up headspace and we're gaining some liberation by turning knowledge into wisdom. What kind of knowledge, though? It is tied into hardship, because when we take a look at Pluto is not, a comfy, cozy planet. There's no like warm, blanket that you're putting over yourself. It's more like, oh, wow, this is like the dark night of the soul type of moment. It's hardship that I am gaining knowledge from. This can also have to do with overcoming mistakes from the past. This can have to do with some kind of, betrayals, some kind of trust issues that have come up, and mistakes have been made because of that. And so we're overcoming this kind of a pattern from the past. For whatever reason, when I'm taking a look at this transit, I almost feel like it's a second chance type of ordeal. It's like we're getting a second chance at a specific situation or aspect in our life. So I think it's going to be a beautiful moment where we're able to tap into forgiveness at a deeper level and move on in a way that feels very healing. On the 22nd, Mercury trines Saturn, and then also on the 24th, the Sun trines Saturn. So taking a look at this transit, I feel what we're going to be dealing with is it's all about laying a new foundation. Sort of like it's a new sun on the horizon. The sun is rising, we're laying out a new foundation. This can have to do with strategies, new approaches, new philosophies, methodologies, that we're bringing into the picture because there is a vitality behind it. There is an excitement behind it. This can also have to do with real honest conversations that are being continued. All of the stuff that we're kind of, releasing by tapping into this circumstance, this aspect, this thing, this challenge that we've been trying to understand. Like, why have we been going through this challenge? And now we're able to have a moment of even more honest conversation around it. Oh, when I was going through that, I didn't want to talk to you about it because I didn't know how you felt, type of ordeal. Or it could be, all this time I have had this blind spot. I was not able to see why I wasn't able to overcome this particular challenge. And now that you're having a moment with yourself, that you're being real with yourself, you're able to tap into what you've been missing. So it's a very powerful transit because it discovers a huge blind spot, and it's sort of a moment where we say to ourselves, you are not stopping me now. I am unstoppable. If I can get through this, I can get through anything. That is the type of energy that I believe we're taking a look at here. And of course, I've told you before, we are going to be in this eclipse sandwich. We're finishing up the Taurus Scorpio story. We have a lunar eclipse in Taurus, and this one is going to be packed full of truths. And of course, it's also going to be magical. Now, why do I say that? It's because the moon is exalted in Taurus. So it is ultimately going to be a better outcome, even though it is a lunar eclipse. Now, I do want to point out that a couple of hours before the lunar eclipse, Mars is going to be opposing Jupiter. Now, when Mars is opposing Jupiter, I believe that there is going to be a little bit of a frantic energy. There is a stressful energy. There's sort of a hot energy behind this. It's almost like, we're a hot mess. Like, we don't understand why we can't, summon our energy, or we feel like all this energy that is pouring out of us, but it's in a way that it's like, it's never ending. And just like the image that I have inside of my head is like someone running around and sweating. And this is also an energy where it can bring out some kind of cockiness. Like, there is an arrogance, but on a heightened level. This is like big energy, this is big energy coming through, it's almost very aggressive in that kind of a way. And I think that there is sort of a energy that is rising up here to be released. There's some kind of situation that's coming to a culmination point that has to do with the past. It has to do with betrayal, a sadness, some sadness that was created through betraying someone's trust, because that is what the Scorpio Taurus axis can deal with. And so I believe that that is what we're cutting out, some kind of stress and frustration that ties into that kind of a story. And we're busting through an illusion. That is going to be key to note during this lunar eclipse in Taurus. That's what I believe we're going to be doing here. We're busting through this moment where we're like, wow, I made it through to the other side. But it comes with this, I feel like a hot mess. And then you could be encountering people that have this cockiness, this arrogance around them. You could be encountering people that are like, I'm better than you, I'm bigger than you, and you're not going to stop me type of thing. There could be like a fight like that, or some kind of energy where you come across this type of arrogance. But ultimately what we're moving towards is a revelation. I feel like Mars here is like, yeah, I'm ready to deal with the aftermath now. Let's pick up the broken pieces. Like, what is it that we need to do? Because we got to stand up for the right thing now. We have to do the right thing. We have to stand up for the right thing. And there's also a revelation that maybe you didn't see what the right thing was, and other people were pointing it out to you. But there's like a coming together here to make something work for the better. And then Halloween, we're going to have a Venus trine Uranus. This is going to be so much fun. I really think that this, trine is going to be like a moment when we're going to be making fun of everything we've gone through, kind of like laughing about the situation and how crazy, life has been. We're kind of ending the end of the month on such a like good note, but it's also going to be like letting loose, if there's a party that you're thinking of going to, this can be a really good time to go to the party and just kind of enjoy yourself and let loose, because we're moving a little bit through a roller coaster ride here. And I think towards the end of the month, we're ready to just party it up or let go and just just see life from a different perspective, because things have maybe been so, so bizarre and alien and unknown at times, that this will bring some kind of comfort in this unfamiliarity that we have been moving through. And that is why I believe that the energy is going to be so beautiful. It brings like a new kind of fresh perspective in everyone's periphery. All right, that's what I'm seeing is going to be the most important for this month as far as the transits. Now what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be pulling one tarot card for each of the signs, and we are going to be moving through what you should be focusing on this month, okay? And the first card that fell out for Aries is the Fool card. And of course, Aries, this is brilliant. You have to come into this month with a beginner's mind. You have to go into this month not knowing everything, just really accepting new things and accepting new ways to approach relationships. This is going to be super key for you, Aries, because the old stuff is just not working anymore and you need a fresh start, and that is what the Fool represents here. For Taurus, we have the Hanged Man. It is really perfect because there is some kind of a moment here that you have to pass through in order for you to make on to the other side. You might have been in this place where you've been waiting for a particular situation to unfold, an outcome, or even maybe a promotion. So one of the things that I feel like you need to do this month is relax even more into letting go. Letting go of your need to know is going to actually bring all of the answers to you. The Hanged Man is a beautiful card where we're able to relax, right? If you see on the card, this person is in a backbend. We're trusting everything that is happening. We're opening up, we're releasing tension. And this is what is going to be super important for you to focus on, because the more that you relax, the more that you accept that things are going to be unfolding, but there's some stuff that you have to observe first, the more you are going to make progress towards stuff that needs to shift, that you didn't realize needed to shift, or you need to think about, you didn't realize that you needed to think about them. So that is going to be the most important thing for you to focus on. For Gemini, this is a month for you to rest finally all of your thoughts. All right, this is going to be a month where I believe that you're going to have a moment to really process everything that has happened. Many of you have been going through a lot of stresses, and you have been so active, having to think of every single angle, every single person. And this card over here basically says, focus on resetting your mind. Also, meditation for you is going to be super key this month. The Four of Swords can be a meditative state, relaxing, letting go, floating tanks, you just creating sort of a space where you just shut off the world and you turn on your favorite music and you're not thinking about everyone and their needs. This is going to be important for you this month. For Cancer, Three of Pentacles. This is going to be a time, I believe, that you really have to pay attention to your connections at this time, and you have to pay attention to what is happening with your connections. There are some people that are coming into the picture that I believe are going to show you specific aspects of the patterns that are going on in the relationships, specific things that are going on in the relationships that are kind of being repetitive. And what is to pay attention here is that you need to break away from these patterns. You need to break away from this old school way of connecting to people, because this is not the way to go about it anymore, because it doesn't make you feel good. So there is like sort of a moment where you have to get a little bit real with yourself, a little bit uncomfortable, because you're more worthy of a different type of connection, different type of, valued sense in certain friendships and certain relationships. So I believe this is going to be the most important aspect for you to pay attention to with this Three of Pentacles. Leo, we have two cards that fell out for you. We have the Temperance and the High Priestess. So let's talk about it. It is a month that is going to come with difficulties or situations that felt super challenging. You've had to make them work, and you are still continuing to make them work. And a part of you is realizing that you have to start trusting yourself. You have to respect what it is that is coming up now. All the hard work that you've been putting in is going to show you the new focus this month, and it has a lot to do with trusting yourself. It has a lot to do with coming out of situations that felt almost impossible to deal with. That is over now, and accepting this new chapter, but you do have to listen to what is really necessary to focus on right now. You may have to change the way in which you're approaching how to make money. So you might be a little bit resistant towards it. That's what the Temperance card is all about. And the High Priestess says, don't resist it, let it come through, because the more that you let your own intuition guide you, your trust guide you, the more you trust yourself, the more you're going to actually see that this new way is going to be incredible for you. It is going to open up new streams of income, new avenues, new ways of which your lifestyle is going to benefit you. So I just believe overall for many of you, trust is going to be key this month, listening to yourself, and also just knowing that you've made it through the biggest part of the challenge of this year. At this point, it is all about just focusing now on strengthening a new foundation, believing in yourself, and ultimately knowing that you're going to make it through. Virgo, Two of Pentacles. I am not surprised. I think that this month is going to show you that everything that you've been working on is going to now move forward at a better speed. And there are specific things that are going to come to you in form of resources, specific opportunities, doors that are going to be opening up, that are going to be helping you to let go of fears that your dreams and the things that you hoped for would never happen. So many attempts that you have made at things that you've been working on that are very personal to you have sort of the energy wasn't there. You've tried. It's not that you didn't have the energy. It's just somehow all this other stuff would happen and it would distract you and then you would have to pay attention to this. Not anymore. All of that is falling away. And that is going to be the key this month, to ride that wave, to know that you are in this position now, that you're being supported. The energies are right behind you. There is going to be a great, fantastic new opportunity that's coming through this month that you are going to accept with arms wide open. And it's going to be a very good and happy sort of moment for you, realizing that this is the time now. This is the time for you to focus even more on your projects and the things that are personal to you that make you really happy, that you're passionate about. Libra, the Knight of Swords. Wow, Libra, this is a moment I believe that has a lot to do with you running even more so towards the things that really make sense for you. There are some moments here that have to do with timelines and deadlines, and you have to make sure that you're paying attention to it. Now, in this image, the person is running by themselves. It's you and nobody else. Only you can make certain things happen this month, and you have to pay attention to this because you cannot rely on other people right now. You cannot be distracted by other people. Everything has to move forward. This solar eclipse in Libra is coming through, and you are going to have important conversations with people that are going to give you this validation that you are in the right place at the right time. Super key. Let me know how this month is going for you. Scorpio, you've been waiting to make a move. Seven of Swords. There is a particular situation you're dealing with. It has not been easy. You've been waiting for the right time. This is going to be the right time. At the same time as you are dealing with this, you have to pay attention to a particular relationship that you have to end. There is someone who's been talking a lot of not so nice things about you. You're gonna have to let this person go. You're gonna find out and you will let this person go. There is sort of a situation here with this person that you didn't expect this, okay? There's something that they did and they didn't tell you the truth, and now it's time to end this relationship. And a lot of it will have to do with your next steps as well, because you've been working on very important projects. Seems like you are kind of diving into it, strengthening this aspect, building sort of it almost feels like, building such a solid foundation that this thing right here is almost like a little pebble in the way. But at the same time, it has to be taken care of, and the time is going to be in October. So pay attention to your relationships, pay attention to people that have not been telling you the truth. Obviously, it's going to come up, but there is one specific relationship that I see that you're going to end, and it could be the relationship to a specific place, a specific aspect of your life, specific work, specific group of people or a network or even an association to a company, but you're ending it now so that you can really cut this thing out and move on, and it's going to feel so freeing. Sagittarius, you are coming out of a situation that has been mentally and emotionally exhausting. 5 of Cups. It's been a crisis in a way, almost, you know, people that have really messed with your mindset in a way, that have made you doubt yourself, and you're coming out of this situation. This month is going to show you that you've learned a lot from this. You've learned a lot from people that are kind of like not up to the same thing as you, and they like to stir emotionally the pot. They like to manipulate thoughts. They like to manipulate, you know, their own outcome because they're not happy with how things are going, because they're shady. All right, let's call it what it is. All that shady energy is going to be over this month. You are going to find out some very important information that is going to let those cups, that manipulative kind of energy, you're going to drain it out. It's draining, it's going away, you're moving on. No more of this super difficult, challenging situation that was almost impossible and drove you insane. All of that is moving out. Super happy for you. Capricorn, Queen of Wands. What a beautiful energy this is for you. So for all my single Capricorns out there, if you're going to go out on a date, just know that it's going to be fab. It's going to be so good. There's going to be a lot of amazing moments. Okay. Queen of Wands can also talk about having some incredible, intimate, you know, moments, and moments where, you know, love is in the air and you just feel really good. It's like that first date excitement type of ordeal. The Queen of Wands also talks about you coming out of yourself a little bit more, you stepping into who you are without worrying about what anybody else is thinking. You know, it's a strong, powerful card. The wands have to do with our empowerment, ourselves, our drive, our ambition, our sex drive, all of those things that sometimes can be impacted, and in your case could have been impacted by the expectations that other people put on you. And I think that you're moving out of that realm and you are stepping out of yourself. This is the month that is going to prove to you that you've made it onto the other side of challenges that other people put on you, expectations that they put on you. And if you didn't show up in a particular way, they got upset. And nobody wants to deal with that. And neither do you. And we're moving out of it now. And that is what this month is going to show you, is that here it is, that first chapter of you moving out of that image, out of that identity. Wow, I couldn't say that. Basically, you being yourself in a new version and loving yourself. All right. That's what I meant to say. It's over. That old version of you is over. We're cutting it out. We're moving into this new chapter. And that's what I think is going to be really beautiful for you. You're going to get a lot of that validation this month. Aquarius, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. And whenever we pull the Wheel of Fortune, it's a big card. So that means we're going to have to pull another card. How is this Wheel of Fortune actually turning, you know, for you? So I feel like there's a huge, big chapter that you are finishing up that had to do with betrayal. It had to do with people taking advantage of your ideas. It had to do with people taking advantage of your ideas. Wow. Wow. I mean, talk about a new chapter. And you have been in this place where you had to think a lot about who you are, what you trust and what you don't trust, your path, what you're here to do, your life purpose. You had to finish chapters. You had to even move. You had to walk away from certain people and certain partners, certain circumstances that really were hard. They felt super cold. There was no love. And where you're moving towards. Yeah, Knight of Cups. We love this card. This is amazing, okay? Knight of Cups. You're going to have so many new experiences this month that are going to prove to you that you have done such a good job with protecting yourself. You've done all of the right things to protect yourself. You've done all of the right things to move towards trusting yourself in a new way and knowing that you will never allow someone to take advantage of you this way again. And sometimes we can't help it. That is what life does to us. Life comes in and shows us the polarity of the things that we need to see in order to strengthen who we are. And that's what I believe is the biggest message for you this month. Pisces, the Emperor, it's time to make big, bold moves, all right? You have to make big, bold moves this month. You are in the Emperor position. There's a couple of other cards that fell out with this. We have the Three of Pentacles. Make sure that the people that you're collaborating with understand your vision. There's also going to be a little bit of a competition here. People that are going to be interested in the same exact position, same exact thing, same exact promotion, but you are coming in very strong. You've got the skill set, you've got the mindset, you've got everything going for you. It is just about you showing up like the Emperor. Unbelievable how these cards really work. Make sure that you take care of you mentally. Make sure that your mental health is a #1 priority this month, because you have to have moments where you can let go, because the energies can be intense and you don't want those energies to overpower you or distract you. So it is going to be really important, whether that is tapping, whether that's meditation, whether that's going to an infrared sauna. You have to take care of yourself so that you make sure that you can show up for this new big, bold chapter that has a lot to do with you stepping into a new image of who you are, because an old image is moving out and a new sort of chapter is coming in where you're going to be a little bit more assertive, or you're kind of showing what you've got. You're proving to yourself what you have, okay? Not that you have to prove anything to anybody, but it's going to be like a good, healthy type of competition. So taking care of yourself is going to be super important. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I love hearing from you. Your comments mean the world to me. Make sure that you leave a comment below. Everything you need to know about my work or working with me on a reading, you will find that information in the description box below, and all my other information as well. I will be back here with another episode to discuss the future. Until then, I'm wishing you the best. I'm wishing you all of the blessings. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back. Bye.